All right, folks. Thanks for checking out the video. I wanted to talk today about some news that has come out in the last a day or so that conservative commentator Mark Steyn is no longer affiliated with GB News. Now, I made a video back in December talking about Mark Steyn and how he had suffered a couple of heart attacks and was in rough shape for a little while. And obviously, he's been off the air since then while he was recovering from the heart attacks. Well, news has just come out that Mark Steyn is no longer with GB News. He has quit the network. So there's an article here from the Evening Standard that says, "Who is Mark Steyn? GB News presenter quits after Ofcom investigation." The conservative presenter was under investigation for anti-vaccine comments made by a guest on his show last year. Now, here in the United States, we have something called the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, which is basically our equivalent of Ofcom. So the article goes on to say GB News presenter Mark Steyn has quit his show after claiming the channel wanted to hold him liable for paying Ofcom fines. The conservative presenter was under investigation for anti-vaccine comments made on his show last year and has been absent from the show in recent months after suffering 2 heart attacks. He claimed that he intended to return to his show, but GB News wanted to change the terms of his contract, making him liable for future Ofcom complaints, which Steyn declined to sign. Steyn's 8 p.m. slot on GB News has since been filled by actor Lawrence Fox. It goes on to say here that he presented the Mark Steyn Show on GB News from Monday to Thursday until his recent departure. So in October 2022, Ofcom investigated Steyn for anti-vaccine comments that were made on his show. More than 400 complaints were made about Steyn's conversation with author Naomi Wolf, in which they discussed her claim that COVID-19 vaccines could cause problems with women's health. At the time, Ofcom said, "We consider that comments made during an interview with author and journalist Dr. Naomi Wolf about the coronavirus vaccine rollout raise potential issues under our broadcasting code. Specifically, our investigation will consider whether this program broke our rules designed to protect viewers from harmful material." I guess it's only okay if you shill for the vaccine, not actually ask any questions. That's basically what they're saying there. Mark Steyn has said he left GB News after the channel wanted to hold him responsible for paying fines issued by media regulator Ofcom. It is generally the responsibility of the broadcaster, in this case GB News, to pay fines rather than presenters. So basically what they were telling Mark Steyn is, hey, you can keep your job, but you might go bankrupt if you do, if Ofcom decides to to go after him. So doesn't sound like it was a very difficult choice for him, given the circumstances. I mean, on one hand, it is good to see. I was looking at Mark Steyn's website, and he has a couple videos there talking about this situation and some other things. It's good to see him on the mend. He sounds good, looks good. So, but on the other hand, it's sad to see him off the air, especially for folks in the UK, because it doesn't sound like you guys have too many decent options when it comes to political commentary on your airwaves. So you all definitely have to seek out some alternative voices if you want anything outside of the mainstream narrative. So I definitely feel for you all now. Hopefully, Mark Steyn will resurface somewhere. I don't see him going to BBC or any of the other major stations over there in the UK. So maybe he'll resurface somewhere here in the United States. That's always possible. So he even pointed out here on his website, Steyn Online, that the days when the Steyn Show crushed Piers Morgan like a bug and Sky News like a slightly butcher bug and occasionally squeezed the very beeb are now over. Last night, it was Piers who crushed GB News 2-1, Sky beat them 3-1, and the BBC 5-1. The lying phony who runs GBN took a hit show and turned it into a fourth place flopperoo. So he's obviously kind of rubbing it in there that their ratings have taken a hit without him on the air. So Definitely sad to see him go. I mean, he had a great show. He had a good run there. He was really one of the few political commentators in the UK that would even dare to ask certain questions. You know, most of the media over there is just not going to ask questions. Is just going to run with whatever the corporate overlords tell them to run with. So I think it'll be interesting to see where Mark Steyn ends up. Like I said, he has his website where he still puts out regular content. So if you want to check him out, his website's steinonline.com. Maybe we'll see him at some point fill in for Tucker Carlson here in the States on Fox News. But let me know what you all think. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.